Yep, my name is Matt Kelland from Moonstorm. People to watch it online. So we figured, okay, let's build something that everybody can use. Really simple, really fast, really easy. And we've got users all around the world. A short while ago we realised that it had immense potential for a bunch of other things we didn't expect. We started thinking of it rather than a simple film studio as a film sketching tool. Basically really fast, quick and dirty, and you can get a rough movie out very quickly indeed. You don't need animation skill, you don't need modelling skill, you just need to be a film director or cameraman. And the main uses we found for this is it's fantastic for previs. You can just rough up a movie way faster than you can even drawing a storyboard, and you get much more information out of it. You get motion information, you get sound information, and you get all the timings and everything. And you spot a lot more problems when you have an animated storyboard than when you have a drawn one. Things that look great on paper don't always work so well in film. And then the next thing we realised when we were working with various film students, both in the UK and in the US, is that this is a great training tool. You can make movies virtually without having to get together cameras or crew or cast or anybody else. I realised I was shooting hours and hours and hours of edited footage every week, which is a lot, a lot more than most film students ever do. And we went, okay, let's just turn this into something which you can use as a training tool for simple exercises like film some guy walking down a corridor and into a room. How do you do that? There's lots of ways of filming it. So just take the software, film it 20, 30 different ways, see what works and what doesn't. And what I've just started doing is writing a series of books which are training exercises for filmmakers. Typically 20, 32 exercises per book. There's going to be 5 volumes of it. And just little things like I've said there. Examples might be film a conversation all in close shot, film a conversation all with long shots, and just see how it comes out differently. Take a piece of footage and say, okay, cut the camera and cut as little as possible. Have really long extended duration shots, very Werner Herzog sort of style, and just see how the pacing works. Then shoot it again, much more modern contemporary style, a lot more different camera angles, cut those together fast, and just see what's involved, both in terms of creatively, and then you can look at it and say, what would that take in terms of the number of setups I'm going to require, what kind of kit I'm going to need, and just get a whole understanding of the process. We also found it's great for writers because as a writer, this is where I started, you write scripts, they look great, you hand it over to a director, he turns it into something completely different because you don't entirely understand the film process and how it works. If you can play with it and just try different things, get used to how film works and how a film director has to edit a film to make it work, you get a much better understanding of what works well. Simple conversation scenes where you may only have 2 or 3 words per line, they look really odd on this paper. It's like, it doesn't read well. When you film it, it comes out completely differently. So that's another thing we've been doing with it, is working with creative writers. Yeah, just amazed that there's all these different uses for, once we stopped thinking of it as an animation tool and started thinking of it as a film sketching tool, many different ways we can use it.
As you can see, it works exactly like The Sims. You click on it and there's things that you can do.
So it's based off of keyframing?
It's not. It's it basically is activity based. So you control the characters like you would if you were a film director. You can say, okay, move here, go over there, sit, talk. I can click on this character if I wanted to say something. This is a $300 laptop. It's running kind of slow right now. I can enter the text and they'll say it. I can speak the text into the microphone, or I can input an audio file and they will automatically lip sync to it, which is kind of cool. I'll show you the camera work because that's the kind of neat bit. Most video games, of course, aren't designed to have cameras in. And they're all first-person stuff. If you're a director, that is not what you need. So what we have here is, the key question we have is, where in the frame do you want this character to be? And you can move around so you get the kind of framing you want. This comes in. Move that along. We can now say, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push in a little bit on her. So this is the nearest we have to keyframing, is we keyframe the camera moves. And there you get a nice slow push. Once you've used this kind of system where you're not interested at this point in where the camera is, you're interested in the shot you get on the screen. Once you've used that, you kind of never want to go back to other ways of doing visual framing. It's got a complete editing suite in here. It's not as good as what you get in something like Premiere or Final Cut or Avid or one of those, but it's enough to make a rough cut out of. And you can then take all of your footage and edit it through one of the other systems anyway. So somewhere there was the rough cut we made as a previs. All the way in there, play that through, you can add titles and all that kind of stuff, and then just run it straight in.
Wow.
So,
That would make one heck of an investor pitch.
yeah. Let me just show you some of the things that people have done with it, because although in some ways the animation is really quite...
Incredible.
What I love about that is that
Pretty much every one of those movies was made by an amateur. Most of them had been making movies for around 6 months or less when they made those. And that's the kind of results that you can get really, really fast.
Can anybody use it? Just pick it up and go?
We have it used in elementary schools in some places. It's kind of funny because the kids end up teaching the teachers how to use it. The fundamental philosophy we had on it is it's very much based on the Sims style interface. So if you can play the Sims, you can use Movie Storm. Really, it's very, very easy. That was part of what we decided to do, was to keep it as simple as possible. Literally, no animation skill required, no 3D modeling required. If you have those, you can mod the stuff and bring in things. We provide tools to it, but if you don't have those skills, and I don't, I just wanted to be a film director, you can just pick it up and go.
And who are you one more time?
Movie Storm. Okay.
And were you the creator?
I was one of the two inventors of it, yeah. My partner Dave Lloyd and I, after we made our first movie, we just sat down one day and said, let's do this, let's make this tool happen, let's make kids make a movie. And originally our goal says, you know, we want 1 million kids to make a movie. We haven't quite got there yet, but 250,000 kids have made a movie with this software. And some of them have gone on to become professional filmmakers. You know, they've found jobs working in the games industry, making cutscenes there, making movies or making short commercial videos. Some of them have gone on to film school. Some of them had stuff shown in film festivals. And there's one guy I'm really pleased with. He's getting in, you know, A-list Hollywood talent to work in his movies for free, just because he's having fun and doing it, and they like it. So, all great stuff.